Transformers!
Hello, that is right, Optimus0420sl here. Welcome to the Groundbridge. I am here today with the Jackal, who is not paying attention. Plasticon, 1978. What's up?
How you doing, guys?
Avenging Tragedy.
Hello, everybody.
Liquid Cool.
Hello, Chris. This is Copper Commando. As Liquid Cool 440 and Walter.
Speaking of Walter, how we doing there, Shredder?
I'll never forget that. Come on, geez, Shredder.
You can just kiss my ass. Foul mouth bastard.
How's that?
Gotta love that version of Walter there. It's almost lifelike.
We must return the Allspark to Cybertron.
Oh my goodness, what the hell was that?
That was Ultra Magnus before you told Optimus don't be a hero. It's not in your programming.
Ultra Magnus here.
Oh, that damn Robert Stack wannabe figure right there? Really?
This?
Yeah, Ultra Magnus is an
That is an
asshole.
awesome figure, man. I love that. It's like one of my grails from the animated line. And the hammer's a bitch too.
So what is the difference between that figure and the blue one that came on?
paint
What's
job.
the difference?
Color.
That's it?
The paint job, that's it. But while we're on to latest catchiest this year, all right, well, Plasticon, you got him. What else did you get this week?
Oh, I also acquired something that a lot of people probably might consider a holy grail in their lot, Shogogan. This is the Strider Valvos. It turns into a shuttle, and it also turns into a laser pistol. It's pretty cool. It's a very, very neat-looking piece. It's very early 80s. This is actually 84. But this actual toy line's been around since like the 60s, so
Really?
it's very cool. Yeah, a lot of die-cast in this thing.
I remember back in the 60s, I got my ass kicked in the Vietnam War.
Thank you, Cup.
All right,
Let's see, I wasn't born in the 60s. I was born in 75. 1984, I was busy getting my ass whooped for being bad. And therefore, a certain cartoon came on the station here in Chicago called Channel 9 called Transformers, G1. And therefore, we have Welcome Back, Carter.
And that has what to do with Transformers?
Hey, it was cool. Hey, you get Transformers, then Welcome Back, Carter. Can't get no better than that.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. That's a cool,
There's
that's
so
a
many,
cool figure, though.
so many cool things. Yeah.
All right, Jack, anything new this week?
Just the little Beast Hunter Cyberverse Shockwave. Otherwise, not much else.
Okay, so pretty much you got your hands on this little dude right here.
Yeah. I want to grab him, but he's like all the way back there and in the shelf, and I don't really want to knock down any other figures.
Okay, I believe there's a certain gentleman here by Avenging Tragedy. What did we acquire this week, sir?
This week, we got good stuff.
Well,
I already had the main armor, because I've got this figure already. But I got another main body
Avenging Tragedy
for
one.
RID Prime. We'll get there, Jack. And this one
Oh, my goodness.
is the Japanese version. Very nice.
Oh, that's even better.
Oh, yes. And I also acquired some G2 goodness in the form of a Megatron. So very nice. So very nice. And last but not least, we got a mammoth of a haul. We got a big convoy.
The best looking figure I have seen so far. Very articulate.
Literally a
very
mammoth.
nice.
Oh,
Yeah, he really turns into a mammoth.
literally.
And just yesterday, Avenging Tragedy is one of my contacts. So you got him
So-
some
Oh, nice.
Sitting pretty, sitting pretty.
That's-
He also made Hall of the Month in my group, so congratulations there to him.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have to line the Megatron back up.
All right, Robbie, anything new this week or no?
I ain't got shit.
Wow.
It says you have to take one first. If you can't,
Cost
then
me
you're out.
Soundwave. Cost me a home and away.
That explains why you're hopping kind of funny. But anyway, all right. Walter, anything new this week?
Yeah. Ronimus Prime came on in. I got Energon Hot Shot. Let's see. I got from Mr. Jack, from the Jackal himself.
Yep.
2 animated figures of Optimus Prime and a Wing Saber.
And an Armada Optimus.
Armada Optimus, excuse me.
Yep.
So I'm close to getting back to right where I need to be there at for right now, but also, what else was I supposed to be getting? I'm supposed to be getting something else. An MP Soundwave could be coming my way soon. I'm doing some work for somebody.
Oh yeah, speaking of MPs, I might be getting a Masterpiece Side Flip.
Masterpiece, what?
Side Flip.
Okay.
I forgot I did get something to do.
Oh,
Skyrim?
Brian bought it. It's always something new. It's the all-in-one. You get all the expansions.
Oh, and I could be getting a big bucket of Transformers tomorrow for only $25, so. But I'm not sure yet.
Like them all.
Well, since last week, let's see. I got this dude. And all
All
his,
you gotta say?
I got his counterpart, which I gotta go grab because I didn't get a chance to get him.
Look at all the figures he's showing off behind him.
told you what he was. A Transformer pimp.
But you call him a Transformer whore.
Yeah, I call him a pimp now.
Okay, I'm gonna go see if I can find Ultra Magnus there.
Which one?
Thanks, Plasticon.
Oh, yeah. Check that
Well,
out.
what, I
Guns
mean,
blazing. I
well,
think he can handle it now.
but the yellow, I like the blue color. That's not Ultra Magnus.
That's Roadbuster Ultra Magnus.
That's why I got him, because he's blockbuster often. He's one of the rare ones to find, though. That's the thing.
Of course, we got this dude.
Oh,
Say hello to Acid Star. I did a little eBay troll, unbeknownst to people, and I have acquired some things I was looking for. I got another one of these.
Nice.
what the hell is that?
Nice,
Is that
dude.
Bumblebee?
New York City Comic Con exclusive. Bumblebee, RC, Jack, and
Hi.
Graf.
I still think they should have made RC those colors instead of blue.
How the heck? Oh, it's Comic Con. Was it from this year or last year?
It was a couple years ago. New
2
York
years.
City. And also from a couple years ago, I acquired another one of these.
Wow.
Edition.
Sweet.
Make Optimus.
You know, when I went to Chicago Comic Con, I actually passed that thing up.
You're
Wait a minute. Hold on. You came down in my area, in my state? When was this?
Years ago. Basically, it was when I separated from the military. I was going to come down to Florida to get everything set up for school, and I was living with my sister, which lives in Indiana, and I heard about the con coming up there, so I hit it up while I was up there.
Now, which one did you go there to? You went to the Comic Con, or we had C2E2 here there
The
too?
Chicago Comic Con.
Okay.
the actual con. That was fun,
I'm
too.
trying to show you, Walter. This is the Matrix Leadership one.
Last time
I
I
haven't
was
seen that one before. I have seen that.
And if I wanted to be a real ball buster, I could sit here the whole time with him around my neck. Like,
Goodness. Hey, wait a minute. Do you have...
power?
I have a question, and it came on out as a statue, if I remember correctly, but it's limited to 2,000 pieces. Do you actually have the Matrix?
yes,
I know they did a statue of it. It was like 4 or 5 years
I
ago.
do. I went after that puppy when it first got released. I got
Okay.
520. And all these guys behind me, they're not recent acquisitions. They're just something I'm going to get into later.
Oh, and by the way, Cups is high.
Hello, shit piece.
Basically, yeah.
Here's a little bit of information about
You
Cup.
watch Randall Nig and you'll learn why I call him shit piece.
Yeah.
Little information about Cup I can give you. The voice actor that did Cup in Season 3 also did the voice of Windcharger and Thundercracker in Season 1 and 2.
Yep.
Very interesting.
I like the voice actor who did a Cup in the movie. I like
Yeah,
him.
he played on Heart to Heart.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Okay, well, we got all our toys out of the way, so let's get into some Transformers news, shall we? Okay.
Let's see. So if I can
First things
remember,
first, the new Soundwave is going to be released soon. I know we talked about them a couple weeks ago. I still am kind of drooling over it, and I will be personally getting it.
so like,
Soundwave. Oh, the Linkin Park one.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm passing on that. I'm not getting that.
Yeah,
once
I'm
I get in
not
an hand,
touching
I'll give the final verdict. So,
In other figure news, we are getting a re-release of this dude in Japan,
Yep.
and he is going to be Leo Prime Black version.
Why does he gotta be black?
Nemesis
Well,
Prime.
he's already white here, so you know you gotta go.
He doesn't need to be black.
You know what I'm saying? We can have all the colors of the world. We already got like a blue version. So,
Yeah.
we can have
Oh,
Austin
okay.
Kumbaya and cross swords and
You know what I'd like to see them do? Do him in gold. That'd be a
Black
Brave
gold.
reference.
Oh.
yeah, a lucky draw. That would be awesome.
That'd be a Brave reference.
Yes, it would.
That's why I want to see it.
Ah.
I don't care about the lucky gold thing. I'm just saying it'd be cool because it'd be a Brave reference. Maybe change his head sculpt to look more like the Brave figure.
I
That'd
was
be
kind of thinking that, but they won't. Like even when they made him, he's got the same head sculpt as his previous version.
Yeah.
He's just the Takara release of it. That's all.
We are gonna bring this thing. Hope I don't drop it.
Uh-oh. Jack's trying to move stuff.
Who knew?
That did horribly wrong for him last time. The laptop went and bought it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
was
what was that?
Yesterday when we were talking, you were reaching for something and the laptop fell. It was like the beeping
No,
from
I didn't. Oh, I just basically did this. I'm holding on to the monitor part. I just went like this to put it back up. It didn't fall. Because
allowed to flash after.
the cord here, I just basically plugged it in, and it didn't want to respond, so I just basically...
No, turn it off, turn it off. Oh.
Okay. Now that Jack has tried contacting the mothership again, there are also some bot shots news for people like me and Plasticon here. They are releasing a Combaticon set for bot shots.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking for that set. I still need to get the aerial box though.
I gotta get the aerial bot, the polar attack team with Autobots and that stuff.
Well, I have the Stunticon set. I never opened it because it's just, to me, it's just a cool set to have. So it's gonna stay in package. I mean, because I have enough bot shots to play with.
They look just awesome. I'm looking at them. They look cool.
Yeah, actually, well, there's a remold in there too with, well, a complete new mold with that helicopter. So
Yeah. Vortex is definitely a new mold.
I'm kind of wondering if they're going to do a defense lore next because of that.
I'm gonna put it in my eyes.
Because
Man,
they're going to
I
take
hope
the
they
helicopter
do
mold.
them all. I want to see the Predacons too.
I guess Mr. Plastic Robot took 4 of them, or Predacons. He took a Beastar, Cyberverse, Optimus, and he took Modshot's Ironhide's head. Gave Ironhide's head Spike, added them together, and he made a little Minotaur. I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that's some amazing stuff you can do with the molds when they're already released to customize.
Well,
You want to chime in or no? Hello.
It is?
I was going to say something.
No, I'm not into bot shots really, so. No, I'm not lying. I only have 2, and they were bought as a surprise from my parents back in the day, so.
Okay, go ahead, Walter.
I'm not interested there either, but the one thing, I don't know you guys noticed this, but the way how they've been doing combiners, like what is it, we've been getting Creon combiners and Hotshot combiners. Not be surprised if we start actually seeing G1 combiners making their way here into the U.S. Plus with Predaking being released like next month, so as reissues.
Yeah, I can see them probably doing that.
Yeah, I see it coming because that's all we've been getting is just combiners, and that just gives me a hint like, we're going to be getting reissue combiners. I see it coming.
I find it pretty cool because, you got people out there that haven't been able to get a hold of them because of the price value, but when they reissue them, a lot of people don't realize, like, say, I think it was like back in like 2002 or whatever when Toys R Us was carrying the G1 reissues of like Thundercracker and all the Caesars and all the
commemorative
G1s.
series. The commemorative series
when
was
they did those,
2002.
they were about $25 on the shelf back then, and they've held their value, or the value's gone higher on them. So I can see those being kind of a profitable thing to buy when they do come out. I'm not big into flipping items myself, but if that's what people want to do, that's cool. To me, it's like, yeah, that's kind of cool, but there are high-quality knockoffs out there that people aren't aware of the origins, which I can get into, but I don't want to jump into that segment until Scott wants me to talk about that, because I can be kind of long-winded about it.
Yeah, getting into origins can be extremely long, especially with certain figures and toy lines and how they all mesh. We'll get into that a little bit later. But right now, I wanted to get into something that we were actually talking about before we went live. If you guys remember, we were talking about original molds and retools and all that fun stuff, and how some could look better and some could look worse. And a retool doesn't just have to be like a total retool of the mold. It can be simple as adding a new paint. Like, for example here, you have good old trusty Peg Leg Thundertron here, right? You send him back to Japan. You let the car work their magic, and you got one hell of a Leo convoy here.
Yeah, I'm not against repaints. I mean, obviously, because I've got, Roadbuster Ultra Magnus here, and the original was like blue and wasn't really a white. I would say it was closer to a
It was like an off-white gray.
It was like an off-white, almost a beige.
Ow.
But when they do certain repaints tend to hold value more than others. Like this one here is more rare compared to the other ones.
Well, he was also released at the end of the line, just like the black version of Megatron. He's hard to find too.
Shadow Blade Megatron.
But for example, too, some repaints happen at the end of the line that work better. Like, for example, you have here Optimus.
Yes.
Right. It's an excellent mold.
He's not as valuable as the Beast Machines version.
What?
Oh, get over it.
Get over yourself.
Well, and that's
Yeah, I
the
have
thing.
to
A
get
lot of
over it.
people
You
aren't
got it.
aware. Like, I mean, take for instance, if you think about it, like recolors. Go into like say Generation 2. G2 took the Constructicons that were all green in G1,
Yellow.
repainted them into a yellow in the States. In Europe, they were released in orange, and they were also released as yellow with gray bits that were picked out.
Actually, I can actually do you better than that one. The orange one was out here in my state.
Well, they
I
were
was in
really
high
rare
school.
to find. They weren't really that high. Like, it's honestly the rarest version of G2 Devastator is the orange one.
Yes,
They were at
I am so
Target.
glad I have it. But anyway, let me interrupt
Hello,
everybody.
Boogeyman.
We have a new guest, Mr. Boogeyman. Welcome to the fold, sir.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
How's it going, man?
Welcome to the Groundbridge, where we pretty much talk, shoot the shit, have a good time, and try to stay focused. Yeah, so
And try not to get drunk.
kind of hard to
Lay off the energy on.
get drunk on air, but I'll give it a shot. Yeah.
Okay, I'm game. Okay.
Well, we already talked about new catches this week, and what have you acquired recently?
I've acquired stuff to customize,
Awesome.
Nice.
and I've gotten. Hold on a second.
Gotta get your camera going. I can't see you.
I can see him just fine.
Yeah.
I got these construct bots. I haven't put these together yet, but I'm looking forward to these.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about those. I haven't gotten any yet. If I do, it's probably gonna be for my son because they're kind of cool. But
Well, I got Wheeljack, I got Soundwave, I've got a Bumblebee, and I've got the 2-pack Optimus and Megatron.
Nice.
Cool.
the thing I like about those is the carrier, the crates they come in. You can actually store everything back in, so you don't have to worry about going and getting like Ziploc bags or another
Yeah.
stackable storage container or something.
Yeah, they're supposed to be cool. I haven't done them yet, so I just want to.
Alright, well, like I was trying to get into on the retool thing before, sometimes you have a retool which will come out and the figure that's retooled will look a hell of a lot better than the original figure. And it's not a knock against him because I do happen to like this guy. This is RID Optimus Prime, Transformers Prime. Ultra Magnus is a much better retool.
See, I haven't opened up mine yet.
Ultra Magnus looks just so much better. He so much a much better toy. And all it was a few added pieces and a jetpack.
You know what? I've seen the Platinum Edition. I think that Platinum Edition Magnus kicks ass.
And that Platinum Edition Magnus is a retool of the Weaponizer Optimus
Yeah.
Prime, which a lot of people hate.
I don't know why, but I like it. It looks ass-kicking machine.
Yeah, all the way down to the shoulder-mounted cannons, which pop out. Those all come from the Weaponizer Primes.
I
They're not
actually
bad.
think it looks better.
I'm not really big into the weaponizers. I mean, it's not for me, but I think they're kind of cool. I mean, the last Prime I bought was Jetwing Prime, which everybody freaking absolutely adores. I think this is the best one that came out of the entire line myself.
I painted like there's little stripes
Actually,
around
I
it.
think this is the best one to come out of the line, personally.
You had to
The
say
first
that.
edition, yeah.
You had to say that, didn't you?
Sorry.
But
You are-
on the Beast
You're a
Hunters
Transformer whore there too, damn it.
Do you realize how many customs I made out of that Prime?
Oh, I know.
This one?
No,
Just
I
use-
made a custom
this
out of that
one.
one for me.
But you know what? I mean, you guys say it's the best one. I say if Omega Prime from RID, if they were to come out with some add-ons there for it, I would say that's the best one.
Oh, Omega
Speaking
Prime?
of Omega
Yeah.
Prime, remember they're doing a reissue of him.
Yeah.
Are they?
Which is
And I
actually
think
kind of,
it's gonna come out here into the
They-
States as Toys R Us.
Go to BBTS. They actually have the pre-orders up for it.
Yes, they do.
Nice.
I think it's running around $80 or something. I'm not absolutely sure.
Yep, for
Well,
both of them.
If I do that, if I go out and get the reissue one, I just customize that one and keep my original.
That'd be the way to go, honestly.
I'm trying to figure out though. It's like, what's going to be the major difference between the reissue and the original? Because it's like,
it'd be nothing. I mean, take for instance how many times Generation 1 Optimus Prime's been reissued.
Oh
It's been reissued
The only difference between the version of Prime that we all got that was non-pre-rub, there was really no difference between them all. Maybe like the length of the missiles and the strength of the firing mechanism that shoots out roller. That's about the only difference. Slight color change on the blue, but that's about it.
the blue, and actually, there's some of them have different variations on the red too.
Yeah, it's light. It's not like enough that you can.
But the major changes actually came with that version of Optimus came with the iPod version, because the head sculpt was completely redone.
Yeah.
Well, you got to remember, commemorative series. Well, it was eHobby. Remember, if I remember correctly, eHobby. Then we got the Optimus on out here in the States, and therefore, what else happened then after that? We got the Pepsi Optimus, we got the Encore Optimus. So
yeah, you got the Diaclones.
Huh?
Yeah. Like Diaclone Optimus, you have that one.
Right.
And then you have the pre-rub Prime, which is the one I have, which is pretty much Diaclone is what it is. There's actually a mod that you can do the pre-rub Prime where the mechanism shoots out just as far as the original, which I've done the mod too, because it was like, look, all it is go in, scrape one little bitty piece of plastic off, and it launches all the way. I love it. It's the best Prime in my books to get. If you do have like a Diaclone Prime, most people keep that thing boxed up and never touch it because they're like afraid something's going to happen to it. But it's honestly a very durable toy. That's why that mold's been around so long, because it's the best Prime mold, I think.
I've actually showed you guys that Diaclone Prime. I know Justin's seen them on my shelf. I actually showed you that.
But I'm sorry, in my opinion, the best Optimus that I have, that I own, that I love to collect, is Movie 1.
That, you know what? That's a sleeper. That is a sleeper.
I actually do enjoy that brick. He's a very poseable. He's like, I call him a brick only because he's blocky, but he is very poseable. He is a lot of fun. Yes,
I mean, in my opinion, it's G1 Optimus and Movie 1 Optimus. That's it.
I understand that. I mean, because I actually have the Laser Prime as well from G2. I absolutely love the articulation they put into that Prime. It's really cool that they kind of did like an updated version of Prime for G2 versus, oh, look, added a couple things when G2 first started with the other Prime. And I've got them all, but the thing is, to me, I just like the way Optimus Prime was designed back. And you think about as old as Diaclone is, and the articulation that toy has, and the stability, and how long that's lasted.
Well,
you know, you have to think about how much went into that. So.
Not only that, but you gotta also look at like out in Japan, how many copies have been made of that? How many knockoffs?
Right. I mean, that mold has been trashed. I mean, there's so many companies out there. I mean, Hasbro still has their original release. Then you got the high-quality knockoffs, which basically was Hasbro getting rid of molds back in the day. And other companies, well, most people don't know this. I'll go ahead and throw this buzz out there for you guys, but most people don't know this. When it comes to the high-quality knockoffs, what that was Hasbro getting rid of the molds. And what happened is those molds ended up in like garage manufacturer guys. Once they found out that they were able to get hold of them, they did the research to get the quality product for the plastic to actually manufacture them themselves and then sell them, but not be an official product. The things are identical. I've actually handled some of those compared to the ones that Hasbro's released, and it's like there literally is no difference. It's so hard to tell. It really is.
Yeah,
so
and
if you don't have the money to drop on an original, you can usually go get one of those high quality ones off a high offer.
Scott threw out an eBay link yesterday to high quality knockoff masterpiece sideswipe. That's the one I might be getting.
Extremely high quality KO. It's actually based on the same. They actually reverse molded to make that. Actually, all the parts are pretty much essentially the same. I'm going to be getting it myself, even though I have to.
It's basically half price from what Takara wanted. It's only $40. I'm sitting there like, that thing's going to be mine.
But mainly I want it because I want to do a review of both of them side by side now. But like, all right, well, here's the KO, here's this. Yeah.
Well, myself, I'm actually really hoping that, somebody, or even myself, I'm wanting somebody to reverse engineer G2 Electro. So that way we don't have to deal with the gold plastic. Somebody reverse engineer the stupid thing in like white plastic or something like that and just paint it gold so it works. Because it's an excellent mold. There's a lot of engineering in that thing that's just crazy. But it's one of those molds that's been lost throughout the times because of the GPS. I mean, Slingshot, all you gotta do is get a G1 Slingshot, paint it gold, slap it in your G2, you can play with it. But with Electro has never had a remold. It's never been released ever since G2.
Well,
that mold's never had anything touched.
Well, what about this then? I mean, what about... we're talking here about that. Well, what about a reissue Wheeljack or Mirage? G1. We haven't seen those two out.
Actually, there was a very high quality version of Mirage that was released a few years ago.
Yeah, it's what Larry Fagan had to do that custom.
Yeah, he is a really awesome bot too. I was actually able to get my hands on one. I stood that thing next to my actual G1. You cannot tell the difference. That's how good this KO is.
All those knockoff reissues of the G1 figures, or what?
Yeah, I mean, the last 10 to 15, I'm going to say since 2000. Or
they also did Wheeljack.
There's only two molds that Hasbro says they still cannot officially release, and that's Wheeljack and Sunstreaker. Because those two were, the molds were literally destroyed on, apparently. And the high-quality knockoffs you see out there are ones that basically that ended up somehow in China or, Argentina or Malaysia or something like that. Somehow they got hold of them and they started reverse engineering and manufacturing these things. That's why you see these high-quality knockoffs of Wheeljack and Sunstreaker now kind of surfacing lately. I've seen them out there quite often. And if you don't have one, I'd jump on it because it's a brand new toy. It's the same quality. So.
Well, since like 2000, I mean, we've seen everything else, but Sunstreaker, no, he never came out in E-Hobby. But we did see a Cyclonus in E-Hobby. But not a Scourge. That's another one.
Well, pretty much with E-Hobby, they did a lot of, they did Seekers, they did Optimus.
Yeah.
My favorite E-Hobby release would have to be the Purple Galvatron. I love that. It's one of my Grail figures. I was glad to get my hands on that.
I think the Guardian robot is the best one that they dropped.
I was getting to that, actually. Yeah, he's one that I am happy. I have not opened him yet, though, but yeah, I am glad.
He's sitting on my shelf. I love that thing.
Well, I didn't open him yet because, as you remember, a couple weeks ago I showed you the Omega Supreme and his previous variant. So it's like, that's the reason why I haven't opened him yet. When I'm done actually setting up the room, then I will open him.
Yeah, I have plans to get hold of like a rough, old-school Omega Supreme that just needs a lot of work, and I'm going to make Omega Supreme out of him because I want that crazy colored-looking thing to stand next to Omega Supreme. It'd just be kind of neat.
Speaking of crazy Omegas.
That is absolutely crazy.
Oh my goodness. Cool. That looks awesome. That looks badass.
Yeah, that's my custom. This is the way I picture Omega.
Yeah, it's pretty...
I still got the original G1 backpack and all that. I just changed the treads.
Does anybody know anything about the... there's supposed to be an upgrade kit coming out for him soon. Has anybody heard anything about that?
No. I've heard rumors of an upgrade kit, but I don't know what's going to be in it or... Nothing.
Yeah, I saw pictures of it and stuff. I mean, it allows you to build a base mode out of him.
Really? Interesting.
For Energon Omega or
Energon?
The Energon Omega, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there's a guy out there that was actually manufacturing a different head because you know he's a headmaster. Well, they got a different head you can pop on now that's got more G1 detail and stuff. So.
Yeah.
Now, see, I've heard about the third party add-on kit that somebody's working on. It involves like a small. It's instead of just being the head, it's the shoulders, neck, and the head, and the gun. It all transforms into like how Omega used to have the tank.
Yeah.
Running around on the track. This one, it's supposed to be like it transforms from a head to a robot to a tank.
Right. Well, didn't it have like wing attachments that come off that turn into like for the base mode?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the same one we're talking
It comes with
about.
the track and everything too. Yes.
I think
it
I
goes
know what
from-
you're talking about. I think they're getting it from IDW.
Yeah, it goes from a tank to a robot to the head, and then from the tank mode itself, it somehow like raises up off the base, off the tracks, and the tracks turn into like a tripod type deal, and it attaches to like the tower.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
They got it. They're getting it from IDW then, because the way they did the design for Omega is the same way that Bill was talking about, which is very interesting.
Yeah, I guess they're trying. I don't think Hasbro's going to give us like an official IDW release of Omega. I mean, they gave us
I bet not.
Metroplex. I can probably see maybe a Trypticon. I mean, I know there was that.
Oh, there will be
fake
one.
freaking
Yes,
picture
there will
thing.
be.
There will be one. There's no
There will
ifs,
be
ands,
a
or buts
Trypticon.
about it. There will be a Trypticon. Trust me. Next year, I'm saying this right now on the air. You see my eyes? We will be getting a Trypticon.
I mean, it'd be cool to get one because I would like to get a hold of a Trypticon that's in scale with him.
I'm really not banking on it.
No.
'Cause technically, we should have had it already.
Yep.
If you were going to get that, they should have released that with War for Cybertron. Not
Well, I mean, that brings up an interesting point because you think about it. I mean, the Trypticon mold being used in G1 and then for Beast Wars 2.
yeah, I love Gigas.
But what happened after that? We have never seen a reissue of it, but we've seen a ton of reissues of Metroplex.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? I mean, I'm starting to notice something. Have you guys noticed the prices of Trypticon going up on eBay like crazy now?
Yeah.
G1?
Yeah.
Well, when
And
you
then,
have
like,
a whole bunch of people posting propaganda pictures of a figure that's not even designed yet, of course you're going to jack it
Yeah,
up.
I mean, yeah, but you know what? And I'm telling you, next year it's gonna happen by January or February. That's when they have their Toy Fair show, right? In January, February.
Won't do it. Yeah.
Watch.
But the only thing I saw remotely related to that was Scorponok. But, yeah, I have
But there was that Scorponok, that third-party Scorponok that's in scale with Fortress Maximus that does not transform.
I knew.
It doesn't transform. The one that everybody saw pictures of. It does not transform. It's got a ton of articulation and a lot of detail, but
I kind of knew I wasn't going crazy when I saw it because that figure, it doesn't even look like it transformed.
no, it doesn't. It
I
does
mean,
not.
the bigger
I,
thing that they're pushing
I
now.
listened to TFW 2005, and Vangelis actually has done a lot of digging into that figure, and he found out that the Headmaster has possibility of transforming, but they haven't officially said so. But they know for a fact that the body does not.
Now see that I wouldn't call a transformer. Transformer
No,
transforms.
it's like a PVC
No, it's a
figure.
statue it's just a big, large action figure that you can pose to fight with Fortress Maximus. To me, it's like, look, I would like to see Hasbro basically take the original Scorponok mold and increase the size so that way it's the same size as Fort Max. I don't see why they couldn't do it. It'd be easy to do in CAD, but I do know that plastic tolerances and would also drive the price level probably through the roof on it as well.
Oh yeah.
So
This is what Hasbro's doing, and I might be right here on this. Take for example, and yeah, it's somewhat Transformers related, and it's not. Look what Hasbro's doing with what were they doing with Marvel Legends 3 3/4. I think Hasbro figured out how to do it. Like we got the IDW comic books figures, which is pretty cool. Now, look at Fortress Maximus and Scorponok. They're supposed to be the two biggest cities, bigger than Metroplex and Trypticon. How is it that Metroplex and Trypticon are now the biggest cities? and Scorponok and Fortress Maximus.
But see, if you're talking like that, you're talking like a sales personalities sitting there saying, buy this Titan class Metroplex. It's the biggest transformer ever. And that just leaves room for later on if they want to design something that's a little bit bigger than Metroplex.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, my whole thing is why are you going to...
Trypticon, in his last incarnation, wasn't even a city.
No.
Okay? He was a space station. Okay? That turned into a dinosaur before crash landing on Cybertron, and that was reformatted into the Nemesis at the end of Fall of Cybertron.
Yep.
Okay?
Oh, thanks for ruining it for me. I didn't beat the game yet.
Sorry.
I haven't had time, but
Well, trust me, I can say it, but it doesn't even do it justice. Watching it and playing it, trust me, you're still going to love it. There's a lot of surprises. But, you know, seriously. Okay, so you can't even call Trypticon at this point a city. The G1 Trypticon is a city.
it was a city, a rolling fortress, and a gigantic, I would say Godzilla, because that's exactly what he is.
He's Gojira.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he
But
is.
you know what's bad there about that? And I can pretty much say is that Trypticon is located.
Jack.
Yep, you're welcome.
Hey, Justin, you going to chime in on here? We're talking about your favorite colors, purple and black here. Let's go.
And a little bit of mint, weirdish, or tealish green, or whatever it was that he had.
What about you, Robbie? Any comments?
No.
Wait, we got the real voice.
I mean, I myself, I have plans of trying to get hold of a second Trypticon so I can make a G2 Trypticon.
Now, what color would you make them though?
Because I already have, Metroplex that I did in the Diaclone colors, which I'm considering as my G2 Metroplex. I've got Metro Titan that's in G2 colors. I got Metro Titan, and I also have Metroplex. So I'm trying to get every one of them in the colors I can get. I also have an extra body, because I was talking to Plastic Robot about making me a custom head and everything for Black Zurak, because I actually have an extra G1 Scorponok body I'm going to turn into a Black Zurak, because I'm not buying a $700 figure, take it out of the box, and then it's shattered in my hands. Not doing it.
Oh.
Because all the GPS. So why do that when you can get like an original one that's the same thing and just have somebody build the head and the spear for it and you got the same figure?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's just how I see it. Because you save yourself a lot of money. And there's a lot of people who don't think about that. It's like if you buy a G2 Superion, Slingshot is completely solid gold.
Slingshot.
Go out and buy G1 Slingshot to go with your Superion. Paint G1 Slingshot gold, and there you go. You got a complete G2 Superion that doesn't shatter in your hands.
Yeah. Like mine, where one of my guys is broken because of it. But yeah,
just a little teaser for you guys, since I can do it. Here's G2 Scattershot.
What the hell?
That looks
Gold and black?
Gold, black, and silver. Yes.
Now that's not bad.
Badass.
That is my custom I'm starting up. That's just a teaser. You guys don't say crap, or if you do, go ahead. But you know me, I'm going to be doing.
You know, we are live, dude. The whole world just saw.
Okay, well, everybody saw me post pictures of this.
Yep.
Oh.
Afterburner.
It's
Dude,
Afterburner
awesome.
in a hot pink. Yes, I know there's people out there absolutely hate G2. I love G2. I think G2 is one of the most underrated ones there ever was.
Let's get one thing straight. If you did not read the comic book of G2, it was, to me, one of the most vicious Transformer books out there.
Yeah,
The first issue is Optimus Prime, like, all beat the living hell.
Yeah, dude, you got Megatron. They made him too much powerful, and he got his ass whooped by a third Cybertronian. I mean, dude, you can't get no better. You don't. If you cannot, you have not read the issues. Read them. They are good.
But that's the thing. I mean, a lot of people they want to knock on G2 because like I can't stand those colors. It's so ugly. It's this. No, it's not. I find it funny that they did Devastator in green in G1, which there's actual construction vehicles that are green, and then in G2 they did yellow and orange. Well, there's construction vehicles that are yellow and orange, so you can't complain about Devastator at all. But then
And
they
there was-
complain when you saw, Bruticus and all these crazy colors and stuff. And I'm
But
like,
here's my
that's
thing, though.
actually neat.
Not to mention, look at the vehicles, right? You got a lot of hot pink and neon cars and stuff in the toy line. Look at how these kids today are putting their freaking cars together.
Exactly. It appeals
You
to
got
them.
neon trim, neon lights, everything all over this shit. And
Yep.
You got men wearing pink shirts. Go figure.
it's
Hey,
an overpriced
shut up,
movie. Yeah.
Walter.
Right, so
Yeah.
so my whole thing is, it's like, look, G2 is very underrated. There's been a few G2 items I've noticed that's kind of gone up in price, but it's still pretty cheap to get them.
And
My
you wanna know
suggestion to
something?
anybody that's a Transformer collector that cannot afford to get the G1 version, if you
Walter,
can hold the
you're
G2
welcome.
version, buy it.
And here's the thing. I'm going to say something else to add to that comment. To
Well, yeah, it doesn't look
Plasticon.
like dirt.
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell, Jack? We ain't talking about pink shirts there, man. We're talking
You
about
said
Transformers,
something
dude.
about guys and
But,
I'm like, hey, dude.
The thing of it is that Hasbro. When did G2 come on out? 92?
Yeah.
About 91,
What I actually
92
want to
era.
see them do, and I would love to see it, is a G2 version of Soundwave.
They would have given them purple.
That I would love to
Purple.
see. I would
Well,
love to
Scott,
see
you have to remember what I do. I tend to surf the living crap out of every piece of propaganda and everything I can to get hold of the original G2 versions of stuff. There was never a G2 Computron, ever. There was
No,
never
but
a
there were
prototype,
G2
never. I've
Stunticons.
never seen one.
There were
I've
supposed
dug.
to be G2 Stunticons
I know. I did
and
a video review.
Projectiles. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done those. Those I've done. But
And here's the thing.
same thing with
Hasbro-
Abominus. Never one, ever.
Hasbro screwed themselves because what they had going back in 92 was a very good thing. Granted, what they screwed us all over was with a cartoon. They teased us. And what did we get? A screwed up cartoon with the same dude.
Oh, you didn't like the Cyber Cube?
Hell no. Dude, what the hell do we need to see a damn Cybercube for? You know what? Look, Plasticon's right. What we had, the figures were cool.
That was doing a gimmick the correct way. You had squirt guns that did watercolor change. You had discs that fired. You had simple little bitty things. Okay, you got Generation 1 Jazz. Okay, what do? You change his stickers and you give him a firing missile gun, and there you go. You put him back on the shelf and people will buy it because it looks totally different and it's got a cool weapon. That's doing stuff the right way. Where Hasbro screwed up was like in the past few years
And
with
again,
the mech tech weapons and the
and
weapons
here-
that never lock out and stuff like that. That's
I'm gonna throw this on in there. And
I
there's
don't
too
know.
many. Uh-oh.
I got my
Alright,
med tech
throw
weapons.
that in there. There you go. That's
right.
See?
Right. I
And
understand, but
I
you
got-
took out you probably took out the mechanism.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Locks
what
out.
I did
That's
with
the only
mine,
thing
is
you
all
gotta
I did was just add super
But
glue.
this is what I'm saying. When you advertise and you build a toy and you're building it to appeal to kids, kids don't want something they press the button and it flicks back every time. They get very
No.
irritated at that.
It's like some of the
So
boys
they ask their parents to tear it apart. Their
Lock.
parents are not going to tear it apart, and that's kind of going into the movie line. Yes, I'm going to say something a little bit about the movie line. The Transformer, like the mechanisms and building them together, was absolutely awful for a 5 or 6 year old. Couldn't do it.
Oh, yeah.
They can't do it.
And
So
they're
why do
and
you
they-
think the price point dropped on those? Why do you still think the Dark of the Moon stuff's still on the shelf? Because parents
Yeah,
will
why
not
do you
buy them
think-
that specific line because they're too complicated.
You got that.
So
Yeah, and they're all still in Dollar Generals, Family Dollars.
exactly. So this is my point. My point is Hasbro's going back down the right road. They're going to make the IDW stuff for us collectors.
Yeah, but you see,
And
here's
then they're
where-
going to make a bloated version of a Legends figure, a little bigger version, so it takes like 3 to 5 steps to transform that thing
Okay.
and transform it back for 5 to 6 year olds to have
Even
fun
a lot of us
playing with a toy.
doing
It's a
that
toy.
for these-
Now, let me rewind a bit here, okay, because, yeah, I do agree with you wholeheartedly on that, but there's one issue that you also forgot about the movie figures, too. And it also kind of, like, when you went from the first movie to Revenge of the Fallen, the figures were completely retooled. Yeah, they were the same characters, but transformed differently. Everything
I
looked...
mean, look at Leader Optimus.
And you go from the Revenge of the Fallen figures, which were pretty high-quality looking figures, too, what the fuck? You know?
Exactly.
Right.
So of course you got an Optimus, which is what I love, the Ultimate Optimus, but the rest of them are like
take Ultimate Optimus and take Leader Optimus. Those are very expensive toys on the shelf. Everybody here saw the prices.
$40.
You bought that for your 7 to 8 year old, and after 10 minutes of getting it out of the package and parts were popping off because he was trying to put it together, most parents, I'm talking about like your normal everyday parent that does not watch Transformers or anything, they're just getting a toy to shut little Billy up.
Hey.
They will get mad about it, and they will put that piece back in the box and take it back to the store.
No pun intended, Billy.
No pun intended. I mean, seriously, think about this. Because I myself, I'm like Scott. I got kids. Okay, I have kids, and
I have kids.
I have.
Bill has kids too. We can all prove we've been able to reproduce.
When I buy them those toys,
yeah,
and when the parts pop off, I take them and I tear them apart and build something else.
Right, but that's because you're a customizer like me. Now, you think about it, your average Joe that walks down the aisle that doesn't really watch Transformers because they're into other things or something like that, and they get their child that toy, and after that toy falls apart literally for the first time, then that kid's childhood is totally killed off because their parents aren't even going to buy them that toy ever again.
Yeah,
but it's an impact that they made with those toys, and you got to think that trails over to your Prime line and stuff. People aren't going to buy the Prime line for the children because the movie lines were garbage. They're like, well, I bought you that movie line toy, and that thing fell apart in 10 minutes. I'm not buying you this one because they don't know the engineering was changed. Because nobody tells them that. There's no disclaimer for them to read when they walk up.
Well, not only that, you don't see Hasbro or Takara or anybody having commercials anymore saying, "Hey, these are the new figures."
They don't do it anymore.
Commercials have been gone for nearly almost 10 years.
But think about it: the day of the afternoon special and the Saturday morning cartoon, for the most part, in the original networks, they're gone. So a toy manufacturer can pretty much only show their crap or commercials on the Disney Channel, Nick, Cartoon Network,
the Hub.
That's pretty much it. You don't have any real outlet. Fox don't even do their stuff.
Well, wait. Say the Hub, because don't even say Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon. They don't hardly show Transformer commercials there on there.
Actually, I've seen quite a few on the Cartoon Network out here. It depends
on Cartoon Network uses still Transformers, but not enough.
But I want to say something else here too, and I said this here a couple of nights ago, or maybe last night. Who knows? Transformers are more like they're collectors for adults, not really for kids.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, I see what you're talking about there, Walter, but what I'm saying is Hasbro's trying to make it so you got two lines on the shelf.
It's like, look at Marvel Legends and DC Direct. It's the same thing. Same thing with Masters of the Universe. Same thing. Turtles, same thing. Star Wars, this new series that's out, Black Series, same thing. It's more geared towards adults now.
There's a reason why the Star Wars Black's out.
Yeah. Well, think about the new figures they're putting out that are for like the normal line, not the black line, but the normal line for Star Wars. They're 5-point articulation, just like they used to be back in the 70s, which is awesome. To me, I love that because that's like a complete nostalgia. I get all giddy inside when I see that. But think about it. You hand a 5-year-old that 5-point articulation toy, he's in heaven. He doesn't need ankle joints to pivot. He doesn't need wrists that swim, move around.
Because it's just like the GI. It's just like the GI Joe toys.
Yeah.
All the GI Joe toys are just like the old ones.
Yep.
It's just like the IDW wave that's out now. It's beautiful. The Megatron there, to me, best looking figure.
G.I. Joe's been struggling, and I still think Hasbro needs to do a G.I. Joe Transformer crossover where the freaking vehicles turn into robots.
Yes.
Can't they do that?
It's been time. It's been past time. They added opportunity 10 years ago. 10 years ago, this was their biggest opportunity. Devil's Due came up here with the perfect concept, but I think Dreamwave did it better. And what happened? They screwed it up.
I mean, think about it. You got how many vehicles do you know of in G.I. Joe that were like when we were kids, how hollow the insides were? How much engineering do you think you could fit inside that thing to make it transform into a robot? I mean,
Be pretty sweet. But you know they're not going to do it.
I mean, you could take the
They
Rattler, for instance,
I-
dude. Paint that damn thing red. Give it little bitty gray bombs and stuff, and that thing turned into freaking power glove.
I'm gonna let him finish, and I'm gonna say why they will do it. First and foremost, when you got GI Joe and IDW in the same universe, they're bound to cross over. That's the reason I said last week, and I'm shocked that they have not done a crossover yet with them.
But didn't
It's
they do
gonna
it?
happen.
Remotely close to
Dude, Harmony Gold just got done suing Hasbro for freaking Comic-Con, dude.
Wait,
You
who?
know about this, Harmony Gold, the guys that own Robotech, the guys that gave them the license years ago to create this thing.
Yep.
Because of that little
Really?
kit, the G.I. Joe kit that was Hound, Bludgeon, like a human version of Bludgeon, and Snake Eyes and that one chick with Ravage. And,
No,
That
dude.
was the Baroness.
Jackal, this has nothing to do with those. This only deals with the...
All you got to do with Jetfire, which was
it was in that set. It was in that set. That's what I was talking about.
But actually, that set only had Jetfire, the pilot for him, the Baroness, Ravage, and Hound. That's all that was in that box.
Snake Eyes.
Right, but the Jetfire had to be... The toys basically had to be pulled off and not sold because Harmony Gold was trying to sue them over a license that Harmony Gold hasn't tried to reinforce for years. They haven't put out a new toy in God knows how long. And everybody that's in the toy collecting community and the toy buzz knows that they're pretty much a joke because they're trying to hang on to something that they can't hang on to and make money off of. So what are they doing? They're getting mad because they're like, oh, well, I'm just going to get mad and I'm going to sue somebody for this.
Do you know how many third-party versions of the Valkyrie I've acquired?
Yeah, that's
lot.
the thing. A lot.
Now,
Dude, honestly, there's quite a few high-quality knockoff versions of Valkyries out there I've seen.
Oh yeah.
So,
Not to mention the STF-1. I've got 3 different variants of it. One's the original, the other 2 are KO.
right, and most of those were
KO
brought in by
actually has
bot.
more posability than the actual original one.
Right.
It's like, it all depends on, But, like, to me, it's like we're getting to the whole kid thing, and this is what I'm trying to explain to Walter. They did make a Transformers line for adults. It's called Masterpiece.
Yes.
Okay?
I mean, they did, but
This is the kid line. This is the adult line.
not
If
for
you want to
collectors.
collect adult toys, you're paying dollars.
Right.
Not
I
for,
mean, think
not
about
for
this.
the adults now,
Take-
man.
Take
These
this for instance.
are made
This
so little Joey, Johnny, or Sue, depending on which one wants to play with it, can open this up and literally after 10 minutes of fidgeting with it, figure it out.
Yep.
okay. This right here, I got in my hand.
Billy is not going
This-
to figure this out without breaking it.
Yeah, I mean, this right here, I got in my hand. This is not for kids. This is for
No.
adults because it's got very small parts that can fall off.
Mm-hmm.
This is Gundam Wing stuff. And the thing is, this is designed to sit on your shelf to look cool. That's what it's for. That's what adults buy it for. But if you're a kid, you go out and buy something like this for your children.
Well,
Yeah.
not
Yeah, I mean,
not only that.
that's what
Because
I'm
it's
saying.
designed to be thrown around and it works and it will hold together and it doesn't fall apart.
Just like if he were to do a custom, if Bill was to do a custom, like a little custom figure for his kid or something,
Hmm?
it's understandable. But the customs he's up here doing, they're for more adults here like us.
Right.
The figure you just held on up, to me, okay, it goes both ways. Because I gotta admit, when Smokescreen
but
came
I'm
on out,
talking-
everybody else and their mama was looking out there for him. I'm like, what the hell is this?
But we're
everybody's-
talking about like something Hasbro's releasing to the public that you don't have to customize, something that should not fall apart in your hands. I mean, for the past few years, ever since like the Bayverse stuff, everything's been a lot of ball joints, dude. When a child's
We
handling
don't
that
do
and something
ball
pops off
joints.
a ball joint, ball joint, ball joint, ball joint, ball joint, before you know it, you have nothing but a pile of parts that has not held together.
Yeah.
All right. Can
But
I,
think about when we were kids, you couldn't pull anything apart from ball joints. Everything was pins, or it was a hinge or something.
or the
if you
rubber
turned it the
bands
wrong
in
way.
the hips.
Well, that's G.I. Joe, yeah. Well, actually,
couldn't hold-
the G2 laser rods, they do that too. But it's very, very small, little bitty things that they did that would cause something to fall apart back then.
But it's like this.
No,
Would
not
you?
even the G2 laser rods. All right, the very same Roadbuster that everyone's trying to get from G1 Okay, he actually has a rubber band in his hip. If that thing pops, forget it. It's
it's done.
Actually, guys, I want to hear what Bill got to say. I got to hear. What...
It's like I said. It was like I was trying to ask. I was like, would you rather buy your 5-year-old this, or would you rather buy your 5-year-old this, which means 7 and up?
I would rather buy him the kit because he's able to build something.
Yeah.
I would rather buy him the kit.
But this is what I'm saying. Would you rather buy your son, you know, a big Metroplex like this that you know is not really going to fall apart, or would you buy him a freaking like leader class Optimus Prime that within 10 minutes something can bust on?
Yeah, I know.
You see what I mean? There's the difference. And honestly, both very, very large figures.
Yeah.
This would be the one you'd buy your kid.
Yeah, it's just like this. This hardly has any small pieces that'll fall off.
Right, and it does not fall apart.
Whereas this, your kid could grab a hold of it and choke on the same thing.
Right, but I mean, that's why there's age limits on stuff like that. That's why you know if the kid grew up playing with Legos since he was like 4 years old, like I did, I wouldn't use parts. And
does anybody have the box for this Primus?
No, I don't.
Because I do believe the ages are 5 and up.
They are 5 and up.
Yep.
Are they?
Yes.
So I got Primus, but I don't have the
nowadays between 5 and up.
But that's what I'm talking about. Is they make these.
Prime example. Here is my other Acid Storm. Right. Check out the date in the name.
Yeah, 5 and up on a masterpiece.
Exactly. Because again, that's the salesman approach they're trying to sell the figure. Little Billy walks into the store, no offense, Mr. Manning. Mommy, I want this. Can I please have that? I'm going to clean without it. And Mom's like, well, I don't know. That's almost $100. I want it. All right, fine. Shut the fuck up. Here you go.
But you got the...
Okay, well, hang on. Yeah. That's the reason why a lot of people right now roils a big stink toward Toys R Us because they pulled Masterpiece Optimus Prime off the shelf. Why did they do it? Because Spike is that tall and he has little bitty parts that a 5-year-old shouldn't even have in their hand.
Exactly. But actually, Toys R Us also pulled...
It's the age that they're putting on there.
Well, they also pulled off the Masterpiece Prime because scalpers were grabbing them by the dozens. Yeah. And no average collector was able to find them for the first month and a half.
Dude, look what they do in the Soundwave right now. You're seeing
okay.
Like if you look at my actual
Scott, I want to tell you right now that is a farce thing because you know what? Hasbro was making their money. They don't care. They probably, honestly, dude, it probably only cost them $50 to actually manufacture those a piece.
Hasbro doesn't care because
they were making a ton of money off of that. They don't care if scalpers are getting them. They did it because somebody had a lawsuit against them, and that's why Toys R Us did what they did. Because Toys R Us, I don't know if you know how they put toys on the shelf, but they put a toy on the shelf, and if there's like any kind of little discrepancy or something that goes against them, they immediately yank it off the shelf and quit selling them because they don't want their name to go down. That's why.
Who's their competition to Toys R Us then?
Nobody anymore.
Right now,
it was KB.
Nobody. And see, that's the problem. You don't have KB Toy Store around.
What is KB?
Toys R Us
is still around. They're just online now.
Yeah, online. Yeah, okay.
And they have very little there.
Would you rather have the store be around you? Therefore, you have two options.
Because we had a KB Toy Store on up here, and once it was gone, I was like...
If you can't go and find your figure over at Toys R Us, you can go to KB Toy Store and get it.
Yep. And there
it's not a Toys R Us exclusive. You can go to Walmart and get it. You can go to Target and get it.
Yeah,
you can go to Kmart and get
all the toys.
Wait a little bit. You can even hit TJ Maxx, Kohl's, Bob's. You can hit a whole bunch of figures.
Yeah, you can get Target now and find figures.
Yeah, I mean there are some Target exclusives that they're doing. There's some Sam Club like exclusive things that they do. I mean, I get that. I understand they're trying to do that to draw people to come into the retail store to buy stuff. But I'm just talking about like your average Joe that walks in the store that buys a toy for their child. They want to buy something that's not going to fall apart. That's why I'm very, very strenuous on what I actually buy my kids. My kid, for Christmas, he got the Gigazord. I'm talking that big, gigantic Toys R Us exclusive Gigazord. I bought that thing for him. He absolutely loves it. It's a ton of freaking robots, a lot of parts you can put together and just have fun with. And you don't have to worry about something breaking. There's no ball joint that's going to cause something to fall apart.
Ball joint.
So my whole thing is, if they're able to do that kind of engineering there, what is Hasbro's excuse when you're making a small toy?
It's called being lazy. That's
Why-
the
no,
that's the thing. It's called
Well,
being
the
weird.
whole premise about the
Pins
ball
to keep
joint
stuff
too
from
is
breaking.
that the piece pops off, it gives you the ability of putting it back on.
Well, with
I-
Hasbro, it's not so much as bulk as it is money.
Yeah.
They're worried about the money.
Money, they're making billions of dollars. What
They
money?
don't, but okay. The thing is, yeah, they're making billions of dollars, but they are getting cheaper. If you've noticed, I mean, think about like the big change that there has been since the end of Energon figures, the end of Energon figures. Look at the engineering and everything that's happened to a lot of them since then. Yeah, GoBots, for God's sake. Those things are still lasting. I've got like 8 of them, or actually probably about 12 of those little bitty ones on my shelf that are in extremely rough shape. But you know what? They still transform and they don't fall apart.
I have
There's really no excuse.
Well, how about this thing? You might as well say like 2002, since the commemorative series. Now we jump into 2003. They had 3 Transformer lines. You had alternators, you had Energon, and you had Universe back then.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had the whatchamacallit. And basically, a lot of that stuff was booming because, well, I don't want to say Dreamwave Productions, but therefore part of me wants to say it because it broke records that year.
Right.
But can you go through all those all those ones you just said, and you look at the engineering on 'em, you'll find that there's screws on hips, then all of a sudden it goes to ball joints, and then all of a sudden it goes to slip-ons.
Alternators. That's a prime example.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about like if there was a ball joint, there was maybe 1 or 2 on the toy. It wasn't completely made of ball joints. There's a lot of them now. It's just completely made of ball joints. I'm like, it's horrible because you think about it. If you just think about it, you as an adult collector, you've got this toy that's built out of ball joints. You're not going to want to pose and move it around too much because you're going to have to pop it all apart, slap a bunch of like floor polish or whatever on it, tighten every damn joint just to have that thing pose. That's a nightmare. Who the hell wants to do that?
But it's like I was saying though, is you see all the ones in 2003, 2004, 2005, then all of a sudden it jumps to 2007, and then you see all the leader ones. It's all ball joints and stuff.
Yeah.
Everything pops off. It was like they were experimenting during alternators and all that stuff to see what is cheaper and what would hold better.
And
Exactly. But
I mean, the alternators were very articulated. Don't get me wrong, they were.
I have the only alternator I own is Sunstreaker, and it's not a bad toy. I like it. That's a cool toy, but I wouldn't buy that for a child.
No,
It's too difficult for a child.
Not meant for a child.
Yeah, it's not meant for a child. But
You know, the alternator.
little Billy in the aisle doesn't know
The
that.
Biotech line was an adult line in Japan too.
Yeah,
You
hey,
know, not meant for children.
hey, you want to speak about ball joints? How about Robots in Disguise line?
Yeah, RID had some ball joints.
Yeah.
But, RID had ball joints. You had a lot of Beast Wars that had ball joints, but if you think about it, a lot of those Beast Wars, like from like the very beginning, most of those when you get them, they're pretty rough. You almost have to take every ball joint out just to, tighten them up just to use them anymore.
Forced into the figure so tightly that you had to like actually loosen it up.
But
But
you take a G1 figure from way back then, and you play with it nowadays, it still holds together.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have to take it apart and clean a little bit of a joint or something like that and put it back together, but you don't have to worry about something falling off. It doesn't happen.
And see, you were talking about Beast Wars. Look at Optimus.
Yeah.
I love that freaking figure.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things I love
Damn
about
you, Bill Manning. Damn you, Bill Manning.
What?
That's one of the ones I want, buddy.
One of the things I love about the FE Optimus too.
But I mean,
No
you gotta
ball
think,
joint.
like in the recent lines,
No ball joints on this figure.
in the recent lines, these
Not for
are
the
probably the most solid that's came out.
Mm-hmm.
The
Every
animated,
one of the animated figures,
it's
they
underrated.
don't have stuff that's gonna fall off. The only thing that can actually come off this guy is like his kneecaps.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep. Because
This
I
thing
remember
is solid. This is a brick. Everything clicks. Everything clicks. I'm talking every joint is a ratchet joint.
I remember I was trying to coat
So
one of
what's the
Cybertronian
excuse, Hasbro?
the deluxe one's joint. It was like the I couldn't even get the thing off. I'm sitting there like, What the fuck? I mean, the thing was loose, and I tried getting the thing off, and the thing wouldn't even come off. And I swear that this plastic around stuff is gonna break off. I'm like, okay, this is a brick. This is not gonna come apart.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said. I adore Hasbro. I love what they've done. I love the idea that they teamed up with Takara. I love the idea that they talked to the Diaclone and got hold of all these cool modes and brought us this entire awesome franchise. But my whole thing is where they're cheaping out is where all the third-party guys is picking up.
Yeah,
And then people want to get butt hurt over the third-party stuff, and I'm like, I understand why people do that. I understand why you get mad because Energon Bruticus looked like crap, so we had to have Fans Project come in and build a couple bots and then build a bunch of add-ons to make him look cooler. Okay, that's cool and all, but
Yeah,
honestly, who really honestly has the amount of money to drop on that figure?
Scott.
The average Joe really doesn't. So.
I'll think I'm rich or something. I'm not. Love you too. Okay.
But I mean, my thing is, I'm not angry about any of this. I just think it's kind of crazy as you look at the engineering design and what I like about what Hasbro's doing now. They're going back. They're like they're thinking, okay, very simple bots for kids to buy, and then next to that, let's put a bot that an older collector would buy, so that way it keeps people coming back. Because you got to think about this. Transformers have been around for 30 years.
Yep.
Would you guys like to see it go on for another 30 years or another 5?
30.
See what I'm getting at? Everybody wants it to keep going. So if you want this franchise to continue, you don't cheap out and start building garbage. Then people will quit buying it.
That's why you got customizers like us that try to take a cheap, figure and make it quality.
Right. And well, take for instance, think about G.I. Joe right now. G.I. Joe is struggling, guys. Yes. I don't see that. I don't see G.I. Joe lasting another 7 years.
It will last.
No, wait. I don't see it lasting another 7 years unless they decide to pick it up and start building stuff the way they kind of did, a little older.
They did. You want to know something?
They did, but it has.
Look,
think about. No, I'm thinking. Well, dude, every time I go into Toys R Us, how big is the G.I. Joe section?
It's very, very small.
It's this big. But how big is the Star Wars section? Over half an aisle.
That's because you know what? Hey, look, Star Wars, the movie, it's getting ready to come on out. Star Wars, I said this here before, it's going to be crazed by next year.
Arthur, the Star Wars part of the toy aisle was always huge. It didn't shrink at all.
It will shrink.
Even before Disney bought them out, and even before that, Star Wars was always a big property.
Star Wars has been here since the 1970s.
Right.
Okay? It ain't going away. You look at all the books. How many books have been written?
You think about it, Star Wars, after all the toys were produced back like in the 80s and stuff, Star Wars kind of diminished there for a while until Power of the Force came out, which was in the
94, 95.
Mid to late 90s. That's when it started picking back up again. But there for a while, for a good 3 to 4 years, you didn't see any Star Wars toys on any shelves.
Okay, real quick. It's like
I don't remember seeing my TRU without a Star Wars figure.
Yeah, barely any. And if there were some, there were leftovers that were there for years that nobody bought.
Around here, every store, the biggest section that you would find around here, and I think it's because of the movies that are coming out, is Marvel stuff. You see more Spider-Man, Iron Man, Avengers, all that stuff.
That's because I can answer you that question, and this is a problem that Transformer fans have. They have been around longer than Transformers.
I know
everybody else thinks that, Transformers is the hottest thing. No, it's not. It's not the hottest thing either right now.
Few of the movies, it's been all I see more, because I remember when the Transformers section would be from this wall all the way to my other wall.
The hottest thing.
Now it's just like, I want to say this big. Maybe a good-sized muskie.
Yeah, but think about this though. The Metroplex right now is the biggest Transformer that they've built.
That's gonna be.
But it is not the biggest toy that's ever been manufactured. The USS Flag was the biggest toy that was ever manufactured. And honestly, for the price point that he is, that's kind of crazy for the price point.
Yep.
But you think here, give this thing 10 years, it's going to be quadruple what the heck it is.
Well, Fortress Max is going to be, well, yeah.
Well, Fort Max is going to go back up in value. All the people that cried about, oh my God, because of reissue.
Actually,
I find that completely farce because the value of every one of those toys is constantly increased.
I'm happy they reissued it.
I am too, because everybody gets the mold in their hand finally.
Exactly.
I mean, and therefore, oh, go ahead, Bill. Go ahead. I'll let you
No,
go.
I'm not. I'm just saying, not me.
But and here's the other thing,
Well,
Scott. Like you said,
what?
no, Scott. Like you said MP Soundwave. Well, you got the hottest figure. Yeah, you may have the hottest figure. Transformers is not really doing well right now.
No, they're really not.
Yeah, people.
They're now recovering from the whole movie destruction derby that they went through. But they're about ready to fall back into that same thing. Now, what is going on, I don't know if you guys are all aware of this or not, but Michael Bay himself even handled some of the Transformers they did. He was like, these things are stupidly overcomplex.
Because I remember one time, me and Justin were talking about Hugo Weaving, and he didn't even want to touch. He didn't touch anything. He just basically showed up, did the voice, and he was gone.
Michael Bay, he touched those toys, and he's like, these things are overcomplexed. So his idea for Transformers 4, easier toys to transform for everybody. So they're not going to try to take all that stupid engineering that they threw into the movie to try to make it look like it does the same thing in a toy.
Can I say something real quick?
From what I hear, they're doing Target Masters. That's from what I've been hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Bill.
I heard that too. I heard about the Target Masters. I've heard that there might be Headmasters, and I've heard that there might be die-cast Transformers.
Finally,
I heard that too.
That would be cool to see. I mean, I want to see them if they do that the correct way. I will probably buy that version. But if they don't, I'm not going to touch it because I had quite a bit of the very first movie line stuff. I got rid of all of it because I was like, I got tired of trying to transform them. I don't like taking 20 minutes to transform one Transformer. If I can't do it in 5 seconds or something, it's done lost my interest. That's how I see it. Because I mean, a lot of people don't like BrickBots. I love them because they're simple transformations. They do exactly what you need to, and nothing falls off.
Again, movie 1.
Yeah. I actually have movie 1 Optimus. He's not bad. He's cool. He's a cool little truck.
The Armada Scavenger, I really can't fucking stand it. But
nobody can. That thing is a
the Armada Scavenger.
It's not even a Transformer. Let me stand it up and fold the arms down. It's a bot. It's a hunk of shit. But anyway.
You don't want it, give it to me.
Well, my whole thing is what they tried to do with the movie line, like I said, they tried to take all that crazy engineering that was in the movie and try to bring it to life. And sometimes it doesn't execute the correct way. Now, the execution they did the correct way was during Armada and Cybertron and Energon. They literally took the same toy, had it animated, and it did the same thing.
I think for
absolutely excellent. Lots of clicky joints. Barely any ball joints back then. And the stuff, it's solid.
That's the one thing that I've been starting to get more of in my collection is more Armada. I like that. I like the way those figures are.
Yeah, they're very, very stable. And what's cool is you've got Optimus Prime that can combine with his trailer, or you got Optimus Prime that can combine with Jetfire, and then you got Overload that goes on his back. That's 3 robots that combine and make this thing this tall. It's huge.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Or if you're like Energon, you had his minions, you had Omega Supreme, you had Wing Saber.
Well, you got bad ones like what was it? Run Amok was like garbage, and Sideswipe, that particular mold was kind of crappy, but it still functioned. It didn't fall apart.
Mine did, but
well, with like average wear and tear, I mean, they're excellent toys.
This is him with just Overload.
Yeah. You add Jetfire to him.
There goes Overload.
The only big thing that I didn't like about that toy is the way the top of Optimus clicks in.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I don't like about it. Other than that, that's an excellent toy.
Is that the only line that did not have no ball joints? All three lines? Armada,
Yeah.
Energon, and...
No ball joints whatsoever. Everything was a clicky ratchet joint.
Yeah, this thing is all like one big ratchet.
Ratchets and what was it?
It's also the only one
joints.
that has an auto morphing trailer that all you do is click something and the trailer opens
Yep.
up by itself. You don't even have to touch it.
No, you do not. Well, the
And then it
sides,
falls
you
apart.
have to help it unpeg the sides, so otherwise it's...
Oh, you just unpeg the two sides, and then once you click this one thing on Optimus, he turns into his base mode. Then you click him another way, then he turns into his upstanding mode. Then you just push the two leg bits together, and there you go.
Yep.
I actually, I've got it. I packed it away because I plan on giving it to my son close to Christmas time. Because I don't play with them. They're cool, but I'm like, I'd rather have him play with it because it's a cool little toy. And you think about it, all the mini cons they had for there, barely any ball joints on any of those, and those things were easy to transform, and
I
kids
think
love
my
it.
favorite
Small
mini
little
con was
toy.
Spark Plug.
Dude, honestly, I think Micromasters was like the most underrated line ever in Transformers
And
during
on the
G1.
cartoon lines, I really think this line's a good line, regardless of what people say about it.
Alrighty.
I love the RID line personally.
Oh, yeah.
What modes I have from that line, they're
It's
great.
a melding of a bunch of different toy lines, but I love it.
Yeah, I mean, Fire Convoy and the Magnus and everything, it's awesome. But you want to give that to somebody that's about 7 or 8 years old because it's a lot of parts you have to put on.
Right.
That thing is a lot of parts for me. I know some people hate parts leprosy, but I
love parts.
I embrace part leprosy. Why? Because every Generation 1 combiner had it.
Yep.
So I don't understand why people get all ticked off because they're like, Omega Supreme really isn't a transformer, he's a parts former. I'm like, get the hell out of here.
There's nothing wrong with parts formers at all. I love all bots. Except for Armada Thrust. I don't like that.
Armada Thrust is weird. I mean, that's where the gimmick just didn't work.
No.
Well, the thing that hurt Thrust the most was the way the missiles on the knees. Yeah, that kind of really killed the figure. You know, it made it very hard to pose. It really didn't look good. You know, him, Sideswipe, and that scavenger mold. Those are the three from that series I just really don't like.
That really sucked.
I still think this is probably the best Transformer to give to a 5-year-old.
Yes.
Which one is
You can
it?
give that to
G1.
me.
Oh, yeah.
Because guess what the first
Generation 1 Soundwave is the best thing in the world to give to a 5-year-old because you know why? It's hard for them to break anything. All you gotta do is tell them to just, tell them, hey, just be careful when you press the button for the deck to come off. Yeah, this is an old rough one. I happen to have one that's not beat up like this, but
the first Transformer I held, it was that guy. Somebody tried to explain how to transform him. I just put down the legs, flip out the arms, flip out the head. I'm like, easy.
yeah, and that's the thing. You hand this to a kid, it doesn't require instructions. They can figure it out on their own, and it doesn't break.
The guy who basically told me how to transform him, his jaw just dropped.
But I mean, that's my thing.
I was years old.
I myself, I've been wanting to design my own line of transforming toys myself because I do like the third-party stuff every now and then. But I want to make stuff that's easy, simple, that doesn't fall apart. The kids are going to like, adults are going to like, and it's going to have a lot of detail, cool articulation, some ratchet joints and stuff, and everybody just love it. That's what I want to get into because it's fun.
Well, since you're already out here in the middle of a live cast, come say hello. Say howdy.
How you doing, Marsha?
How's it going?
How are you?
Pretty good, Marsha Brady.
Hi, Mrs. Scott.
Mrs. Scott.
Over here.
I'm the bald-headed black man on here.
The bowling ball with a mouth.
Yeah. Hold on, I'll be back. I gotta go take my son to bed.
Okay, Bill.
You know what else that you touched on, Plasticon, that we have not seen?
What's that?
We have seen just about every reissue, but one reissue we have not seen is...
Actually, they haven't even cut the surface with reissues, but okay.
No, we have not seen reissue of G2. You have not seen
No,
that.
we have never seen a reissue of G2,
Actually,
but there's also a ton of G1 that's never saw a reissue.
They did do a reissue of Laser Rod Optimus Prime. Thank you very much.
Scourge.
From
Okay.
Oh,
the
no, not even Scourge. E-Hobby reissued him, and they did another mold of him.
Oh wait, yeah, you're right, because they did a Ultra Magnus version of him.
And they did an original version of him as well. So
Right, you're correct on that.
So
But I'm talking about here in the I'm talking about here in the U.S. though. Come on, we have not seen that here
He's
yet.
talking about walking in the, I mean, honestly, the most reissued thing I've seen that's been Generation 1.
It's Optimus.
No, Power Master Prime.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Power Master Prime has had more reissues than anything.
No, I thought it'd be
Because I don't know whether you guys are familiar with this, but Power Master Prime was reissued, and then he was recolored in 2 different ways.
Mm-hmm.
From
You have
Japan.
a black
I can
one,
remember that.
but I can't remember exactly what the heck he's
Fire
called.
Guts Convoy.
No.
Fire
The black one, the black one is Nucleon Quest.
Yeah, Nucleon, which does not have any power-up armor. And then you've got Fire Guts, which is completely orange with orange chrome.
Apex armor and all that.
Those are 2 that are on my radar to get because I absolutely love those. I love the mold. I have the Japanese reissue of Power Master Prime with Apex armor, and then I got the American original one. So there are differences. I will be doing a review over that stuff for people that want to see my reviews. But
I mean, the thing of it is, you would think Hasbro would have done a reissue of G2 Megatron Green Tank. It makes all the sense in the world.
But you would also think that Hasbro would go in as hot as Star Saber is, as do a reissue of him, and they
Star Saber is hot because he's an IDW right now.
Well, Star Saber's always been hot to me because I love Star Saber. But same thing with Victory Leo. If you did a reissue of Generation 1 Star Saber, you would have to do a reissue of Victory Saber. Or Victory Leo to go with it. No, Victory Leo. Overlord, that's one that I would like to see a reissue of, but I doubt that we're going to see. I've seen 2 separate knockoff versions of that particular mold that's been done. Actually, I'm going to take back 3. There was one that somebody did, it was a KO. Basically, it is the same colors as the original, but his head looks like Star Saber's face, and it's got chrome bits.
Yeah.
And then there was one that they did that was almost in Star Saber colors. It had a lot of red and blue, and I don't think it was.
I always considered that one like a.
No, there was no yellow in it.
But yeah.
I didn't consider it that. I thought of it as like an Autobot variant to what.
Apparently, Hasbro is in the works.
Then there was another one. I don't know if you guys are even aware of. This thing came up on eBay probably like a good 2 months ago. Apparently, there was an official one where it was done in Generation 1 Megatron colors. And I looked that thing up and down. I was like, that thing, it wasn't a custom. So apparently somebody out there's got this mold. And they're reissuing this thing in some KOs.
You want to know something?
I would like to see that thing get a reissue, or at least some high-quality maker, just like they did with the KO version of Star Saber. Do the same thing with that and get it out there so people can buy it. Because it's an awesome mold.
Hey, Hasbro is in the works for making a Generations Overlord. It's just going to be a repaint of Blitzwing with a new head. I remember seeing it somewhere, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I've seen that, but I'm talking about like
the
base mode, the original stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about that.
This whole process of taking the head off one and redesigning the face and putting that back on the same damn body, that doesn't change the Transformer. It just changes the face.
Well, it's kind of like the GDO G2 Megatron they did. They took
Positron,
a.k.a.
that was horrendous.
They took that and put
that
helmet on there and did the color, and I'm like, it doesn't fit because it's skeletal. That's not what Megatron looks like.
Yeah, that's horrendous. You don't. Look, let me say it here like this, and we haven't gotten there to the books there yet, But
I'm trying to tell you different strokes for different folks. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean the rest of us have to agree with you.
you don't have to. But I'm being real about it. To me, Megatron's not supposed to be in that color, and he damn sure does not hold.
Well, it wasn't the colors. The colors were actually spot on to G2, but
He
it
had-
should have been
Megatron had a
skeletal.
samurai skeletal look to him, and that was what a lot of people have issues with.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if they would have went through and did some retooling and filled in the skeletal parts and made it more solid, I would have bought it. But they didn't. So that's why I didn't buy it.
I kind of have the Beast Machine's philosophy when it comes to Megatron, and it pretty much is no matter what form you put him in, Megatron is Megatron. Okay? No matter, you can make him the biggest, beefiest bot on the planet, or you can make him a freaking toaster. He's going to kick somebody's ass no matter what the hell he looks like.
That's true.
So for me, seeing the samurai attempt, just like when people first saw Bludgeon, which was the movie Bludgeon, they're like, tooled upright, this would be a good Megatron. Now, I think if they would have painted him a little different, like if he had like the gunmetal gray and the black in there instead of the light green, a lot more people would have fell in love with it.
Yeah, maybe.
But because he's, pretty much this color, a lot of people don't like it.
I want to touch up here on something that Plasticon said, and it actually deals involved here with a book, which is kind of interesting. You guys were talking about a reissue of Star Saber and Overlord.
Mm-hmm.
I think we will be getting those here in the U.S. because Star Saber made his first appearance in IDW about a couple of weeks ago. Now we're seeing Dial Atlas, if I'm correct. Is that his name?
Dial Atlas, yes.
Dial Atlas.
Now, I've heard Dial Atlas is getting...
for quite a while, actually.
I've heard Generation 1 Dial Atlas is actually going to be getting a reissue. I'm going to be upset if they don't give us a Roadfire and Sonic Bomber to go with it.
It's going to happen. I'm going to tell you why.
If they drop a big powered, I will be beyond ecstatic because it's the only Micromasters I don't have along the side of the headquarters setup. I don't have that one. That's the only one I don't have.
Because what IDW is doing right now is very smart. They're pulling in Japanese characters in the two books right now, which is very cool. To see Star Saber. What was the chances of them getting Star Saber in their universe? Or Dial Atlas? And I'm trying to figure out, there's supposed to be, what was the third one from G2? What's his name? He was the third Cybertronian. He was the main villain. And now he's...
Oh, Deathsaurus.
Yeah.
That's Victory.
Yeah, and therefore we saw...
Axis getting brought in, too.
Yeah. So don't be surprised that the characters we're up here seeing in IDW is going to get a release here in the U.S.
Hang on. The Grimwing that they had that they came out with the Beast Hunters line, there's actually like a recolor version of him where he's like blue or something. Well, there's a third party that's making a head to make that thing look like Deathsaurus.
Yep, I know.
That's cool and all, but...
I mean, there's another figure that it's somebody else that's in my head, and I cannot figure out what it is.
Don't make me go get my Deathsaurus
Overlord.
Itself. I have him.
I'm thinking of Overlord. I think we will get an Overlord here because his thing in the last stand on the records. Come on, dude.
But my whole thing is, if you're going to make Overlord, I don't want Overlord in Voyager form. This thing has got to be at least up here. It's got to be big. Because Overlord was not a small toy. That thing was huge.
Exactly.
I think we're going to get something there like that because you know what? He's a major player. And plus, the dude is vicious. He's generous.
If they decided to reissue Sky Gary, if it was smaller than this, I wouldn't even look at it. It's an awesome toy.
Yes, he is. I'm showing mine to these guys the other night. Yes.
So, I mean, the more characters, what's the other one I have not seen? Defosaurus, is that his name?
That's ours.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in IDW there yet, but
this is the guy that needs the most love in the Transformers universe as far as I'm concerned right now.
Who the hell is that?
Grandis.
That's Grandis.
Grandis, okay.
And he is
awesome. The most underrated toy ever. It's extremely rare to find this thing. This is like this is holy grail material for most Transformer collectors.
He's definitely one of mine. I'm glad I have him.
He is one of the coolest things that they ever did. And yes, they did during
Well, his whole merger with Metroplex too is what's like one of the sweetest things to me. But yeah.
Wait, what? He merges with Metroplex?
Yep. In the actual tank modes, you can combine them.
He actually merges with Star Convoy.
You can actually merge it with Metroplex too.
Yeah, you do both. He merges with Metroplex and Star Convoy. And Sky Gary sits on the back of him because he's an aircraft carrier.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have all three, you've got like the coolest friggin' convoy ever. And what's awesome about Star Convoy is he's got a switch you turn on and he'll actually roll across the floor.
Well, I got a question here. What do you think
That's
of the
playability,
books?
man. Come on.
What do you guys think of the books so far? Robots in Disguise, Regeneration, and More Than Meets the Eye.
I like it.
I like it, but I can't really base figure releases off of it. But the stories, yes, I do like it a lot.
Don't have it. Can't read it.
Oh, you got to read it, dude. It's a major event coming on out. 12-part called Dark Cybertron, and guess who's drawing it? The dude who did DC Infinite Crisis, Phil Jimenez, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he's doing it, which is cool.
So they made a book based on this?
Yep.
Yeah.
And again, I can't wait till that's in my hands, man. Again, thank you.
That Starscream gets a new redesign off his new Voyager. It looks like Armada.
It'd be like mine versus yours, Scott.
I'd win.
I like the idea you did it in gold, dude. That looks cool. That looks like so like G1.
I'm gonna do it in gold and silver. I'm gonna do like a chrome highlights and a little black accents.
Oh, nice.
Well, Plasticon, since you're in films, well, I apologize for the Michael Bay comment there earlier. My fault.
No offense, Michael Bay sucks.
Hey, what? No, he doesn't.
Hey, again, different strokes for different.
Okay, I know everybody says Michael Bay sucks, but honestly, you guys don't know him as a director.
Thank you.
My whole thing is, if you're basing your opinion off of propaganda and you have not sat down and watched any of the behind the scenes dealing with any of the movies he's ever made, then you shouldn't say anything.
Bad Boys 1 and 2.
The guy's a phenomenal director, and and the whole thing is, if you don't know anything about the film business,
the only thing.
Oh yeah, I got it.
The only thing I don't like about Michael Bay messing with the Transformers movies is how he changes the figures too much. He kills them off too fast. He could make them last. He could make so many freaking Transformers movies, it'd be pathetic. But then he's got to go off in the third movie and freaking kill off freaking everybody.
Let me lead into that. The first three movies were already written. They were done. They were written.
Actually, the second
it was to get the money out there to see if there was an interest in it. That's what the first one was for. The second one was to keep the audience wanting more, to drive in more people. The third, okay, let's give them the big battle scene in the end. The fourth one is going to be a little different. They're going a little different approach. Like I said, Michael Bay's actually talked with Hasbro and Takara about the engineering of the toys that are going to be coming out. He's going to be paying more attention to what the heck they're trying to do with everything dealing with that franchise, especially if you're bringing in Target Masters and Headmasters and Power Masters. If you're bringing that in, you're basically talking directly to everybody in the Japanese area. Everybody there. Everybody knows everything about Diaclone. So you cannot screw this up.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't. He was in my state. How can you screw up? Hey, screw up.
So he's
How many movies have been shot in Chicago?
I mean, my whole thing. Well, Chicago right now is a hot area for filming, but the biggest thing is if you're going to be getting into like making movies, you have to think about this. You got a lot of lore that's been. You're talking years of lore built up that you're trying to cram into a 2-hour movie. Impossible to do. It's honestly impossible to do.
Well, it's
But
like
you
I said
you want to
last time we
Think about it.
talked
Okay, think about Lord of the Rings. You couldn't stick all 3 books in
exactly.
one movie. You can't.
Exactly. That's how they should have done Transformers. It's just like Lord of the Rings.
Exactly. Well,
I agree with
I completely agree with you on that, Bill. But this is my thing. This is his chance to redeem himself. And if he screws this one up, then he probably will not get funded to ever do another one.
You know what? Wait a minute. I don't get it. I do not get it.
Well,
Okay.
actually, Hasbro requested him, if I remember right, for this one.
I mean, no one has
he
not
was gonna
figured it
step
out.
away.
It's called Hollywood. No one has not figured it out. It's called Hollywood. That's
Yeah,
because
this is like a big topic. We talked about this.
Yeah, we've talked about this a bunch. But no, he was stepping away from Transformers. He wasn't going to do 4. They were going to have somebody else come in, and he decided before he left the series he would do one more and leave it open so they could continue from what he's already built.
Yep. That's exactly what I've read.
I mean, to me, I liked all 3 movies.
You know, at the end of the 3rd one, he said, "I'm not making any more."
You know what? If I was in, I would have felt the same way because the problem of it is with some of the fans, it's gotta be G1. Oh, you ruined my child.
Think about this. Think about this. It's kind of like it's kind of like X-Files, guys. X-Files first came out, it was phenomenal. And then the writer was concentrating on X-Files and Millennium at the same time. Therefore, you saw X-Files start to suffer. Then they tried to do an X-Files movie to try to redeem that, to draw in more people to watch the show again. It completely flopped. And then they came up with another X-Files movie later on that I wasn't even interested in. Trying to rebirth this entire industry, this whole thing that he built was freaking phenomenal. He pretty much screwed up and squashed on his own.
Mm-hmm.
Question: did Michael Bay? And I asked this here. Did he do Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Or was he a producer?
Yes, he did. He did.
He was the one. No, I'm talking about the one that came on out this year.
No,
the one this year.
No.
No,
he was the
He
one
did
that did the first remake.
First 2 that came on out 10 years ago. Okay.
No, the first one.
Yeah, the first one.
He only did the first one.
Oh, first one. Okay.
And I didn't like it very much myself.
And I didn't like it either. It wasn't that great. But then again, it's one of those things. It's like I'm trying to step into a franchise that's been built and established for a long time. We're trying to rebirth and make it for younger kids that have never seen any of these movies. Because think about it. I mean, honestly, if you ask the general public if they've ever seen the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, most of them will not be able to raise their hand because they didn't even know it even existed.
Okay, boys and girls, on that note, let's end the cast. We can continue the discussion after. Okay, but I want to be able to actually upload this with all the lovely extras later. All right, this is Optimus0420sl saying sayonara to everyone. Would you all like to say your adieus?
My name is Mr. Boogeyman 1973. Look me up on YouTube. See you later.
I'm Plasticon Reviews, also known as Plasticon 1978. Come check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube.
I'm Avenging Tragedy. I'm on YouTube. There's a bunch of unboxings. You'll probably hate me, but watch me anyway.
I am AKA, yet known as the Shredder, AKA Walter Young. I am in the Chicago area. Please rescue me. Bye.
There is no hope for you. We own your soul. Anyway, one of us. All right. This is Optimus0420sl. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Ustream. Enjoy the week, guys. Till next time. Signing off. Peace.
Peace out.
Transformers!